What happens when a night meant for romance ends in mystery? It was supposed to be an ordinary first date, the kind filled with nervous excitement and hopeful anticipation. But for one young woman, it was the last time anyone would see her. Her sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through her family and community, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and chilling possibilities. In this deep dive, we explore the case of Hannah Walker, a woman who vanished without a trace after a first date. Who was she? What really happened that night? And what shocking truths have since emerged? Join us as we unravel the details of a case that has haunted investigators and captivated the public. Hannah's story is not just about tragedy, it's also about resilience, determination, and the relentless pursuit of justice by those who refuse to let her memory fade. This is more than a cold case. It's a testament to the power of human connection and the lengths people will go to uncover the truth. Before she became the center of a chilling mystery, Hannah Walker was just like any other young woman. She was 24 years old, ambitious, and full of life. Born and raised in the small town of Willow Creek, Hannah had always been known for her kindness, intelligence, and infectious laugh. She graduated from college with honors and had recently started a promising new job at a marketing firm in the city. Her dating life was typical for someone her age. She met people through apps and mutual friends but was cautious when it came to relationships. Those close to her say she had a good head on her shoulders and wasn't one to take unnecessary risks. Hannah was smart, said her best friend, Olivia Harris. She didn't jump into things without thinking them through. Friends describe Hannah as warm, empathetic, and fiercely independent. She loved hiking, photography, and spending weekends exploring local coffee shops. Her social circle admired her ability to balance work and play while maintaining strong connections with family and friends. Despite her busy schedule, Hannah made time for others, often volunteering at animal shelters or helping out neighbors in need. But beneath her cheerful exterior lay a quiet vulnerability. In private moments, Hannah confided in Olivia about feeling lonely, longing for meaningful connections beyond fleeting friendships. It was this desire for companionship that led her to join online dating platforms, a decision that ultimately changed everything. Little did they know, it would be the last time they'd ever hear from her. Hannah had met Daniel Brooks online. He seemed charming, polite, and shared many of her interests. Their initial conversations revolved around travel, books, and music. Daniel even mentioned his love for animals, which immediately resonated with Hannah. After days of texting, they decided to meet in person. The plan was simple: dinner at a well-known restaurant in town, followed by a casual stroll in a busy area. It seemed safe. That evening, Hannah sent Olivia a message, "Heading out now. Wish me luck." Her excitement was evident, but there was something else lurking beneath the surface. Later, during interviews, Olivia recalled Hannah mentioning a vague sense of unease before the date. She said something about how he seemed too perfect, Olivia explained. But I told her not to overthink it. We all get nervous before meeting someone new. Witnesses recall seeing Hannah and Daniel together, talking and laughing. The date appeared to be going well. Waitstaff remember them ordering appetizers and dessert, chatting animatedly throughout their meal. However, after dinner, things took a turn. According to Daniel, they parted ways outside the restaurant around 10 p.m. He claimed she waved goodbye and walked toward the main street, where she planned to call a rideshare home. Yet no ride request under Hannah's account was ever confirmed. Furthermore, surveillance footage from nearby businesses shows no sign of her leaving alone. There were signs, subtle but significant, that Hannah might have felt uneasy during the date. Some friends later remembered her saying she wished she hadn't gone through with it. But she went anyway. After all, what could go wrong? The night ended, but Hannah never returned home. Calls and texts went unanswered. At first, friends and family assumed she had simply lost track of time. Maybe she decided to stay out longer, enjoying the company of her date. But as the hours stretched into the next morning, their worry turned into dread. Olivia tried calling Hannah repeatedly but got no response. By noon, she reached out to Hannah's parents, James and Linda Walker, who immediately drove to her apartment. Inside, they found her keys, wallet, and phone charger still on the counter, a clear indication she hadn't come home yet. Panic set in. Local authorities were notified shortly thereafter. Officers arrived at Hannah's apartment and began questioning anyone who might have seen her that night. They visited the restaurant where she had been with Daniel, reviewed security camera footage, and canvassed the surrounding area. Every lead pointed back to the same conclusion: Hannah had vanished without a trace. Daniel Brooks became the primary focus of the investigation. When questioned, he maintained his story, that they had parted ways amicably after dinner. He provided no alibi for the rest of the evening, claiming he went straight home. His demeanor during questioning, however, raised red flags. Investigators noted inconsistencies in his timeline and body language, prompting further scrutiny. As the hours turned into days, hope dwindled. Wherever Hannah was, she remained silent. The police launched a comprehensive investigation, interviewing Daniel extensively and reviewing every piece of evidence available. Surveillance cameras captured snippets of Hannah and Daniel entering the restaurant but offered little insight into what happened afterward. Daniel cooperated with authorities, providing access to his phone records and vehicle GPS data. While nothing incriminating surfaced initially, several discrepancies emerged upon closer examination. First, Daniel claimed Hannah had called a rideshare service after they parted ways. However, no such ride request existed in her account history. Second, witnesses near the restaurant reported seeing a man matching Daniel's description lingering in the parking lot long after closing hours. Lastly, Hannah's phone last pinged near the restaurant, suggesting she hadn't traveled far before disappearing. Detectives expanded their search radius, scouring nearby areas for clues. They checked alleyways, parks, and secluded spots, hoping to find anything that might indicate foul play. Meanwhile, forensic teams analyzed Hannah's belongings, including her purse, which had been discovered discarded near a desolate highway miles away from the restaurant. Inside, they found her ID, credit cards, and cash, all intact, but no cell phone. This discovery raised more questions than answers. Had Hannah gone there willingly? Had someone taken her? And why leave her purse behind while keeping her phone? These uncertainties fueled speculation among both investigators and the public. Community members joined the effort, organizing search parties and distributing flyers with Hannah's photo. Social media campaigns gained traction, bringing national attention to the case. Tips poured in daily, each one carefully evaluated by detectives. Despite these efforts, concrete leads proved elusive. One potential breakthrough came months later when a security camera at a gas station revealed a blurry image of a woman resembling Hannah seated in the passenger seat of a dark sedan. The car did not match Daniel's vehicle, leading investigators to believe a third party may have been involved. Unfortunately, the resolution of the footage was too poor to identify either the driver or the license plate. As word spread about Hannah's disappearance, the community rallied. Volunteers organized search parties, combing through wooded areas and abandoned buildings in hopes of finding her. Social media exploded with missing person alerts, using hashtags like #FindHannahWalker to keep her case visible. Candlelight vigils were held in her honor, drawing hundreds of attendees who lit candles and shared memories of the vibrant young woman everyone knew and loved. Her family, including her parents, James and Linda Walker, pleaded for answers, appearing on local news stations and urging the public to come forward with any information. Linda, speaking through tears, begged anyone with knowledge of Hannah's whereabouts to contact authorities. "We just want our daughter back," she said. "Please, if you know anything, tell us." Social media campaigns pushed for justice, creating pages dedicated to sharing updates and encouraging tips. Online sleuths dissected every detail of the case, debating theories and analyzing evidence. For a brief period, Hannah's disappearance dominated headlines, sparking nationwide interest. Even celebrities chimed in, amplifying calls for justice via Twitter and Instagram. Despite the overwhelming support, frustration mounted as weeks turned into months with no resolution. Many residents expressed anger toward law enforcement, accusing them of moving too slowly or overlooking critical clues. Others praised the dedication of officers working tirelessly to solve the case. Regardless of opinion, one thing was clear: Hannah's story had touched countless lives, uniting strangers in a shared quest for answers. As months passed, disturbing details emerged about Daniel Brooks. A former acquaintance, Megan Reynolds, came forward, claiming he had a history of controlling behavior. According to Megan, Daniel frequently monitored her activities, demanded constant communication, and became enraged whenever she interacted with other men. Other ex-girlfriends corroborated her account, painting a picture of someone who wasn't as charming as he seemed. Despite mounting suspicion, concrete evidence linking Daniel to Hannah's disappearance remained scarce. Investigators continued monitoring his movements and communications, searching for any hint of involvement. Meanwhile, alternative theories proliferated among amateur detectives and true crime enthusiasts. Some believed Hannah had been abducted, possibly targeted due to her appearance or financial status. Others speculated she had left voluntarily, though her loved ones dismissed the idea entirely. One theory suggested a third party had been involved, someone who had been watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. Proponents of this theory pointed to the mysterious sedan captured on the gas station camera as proof. Another line of inquiry focused on Hannah's mental health. Friends admitted she had occasionally discussed feelings of loneliness and anxiety, raising concerns about whether she might have fled out of desperation. However, experts argue against this scenario, noting her strong ties to family and friends as well as her responsible nature. Then came another breakthrough, or so it seemed. A tipster contacted authorities, claiming to have seen a woman matching Hannah's description being forced into a van near the outskirts of town. Though promising, subsequent investigations failed to corroborate the claim. Still, the possibility lingered, fueling renewed optimism among those following the case. Years later, Hannah's case remains unsolved. Her family continues to search for answers, refusing to let her memory fade into obscurity. Her disappearance serves as a haunting reminder of how quickly the ordinary can become extraordinary, how a simple night out can turn into a mystery that refuses to be forgotten. The case remains open. Investigators urge anyone with information to come forward. And as true crime communities continue to dig, the hope remains that one day, the truth will finally come to light. For now, Hannah's story lingers in the minds of those who knew her, a bittersweet reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of staying vigilant. As her mother once said, Hannah deserves justice. And we won't stop fighting until we get it. If you have any thoughts or theories, share them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime investigations, and remember to stay aware, stay cautious, and always let someone know where you're going. Because sometimes, the smallest details can make the biggest difference.